Mr. Campbell, we're running a few minutes late. They was rushing us. They already
bro. Listen, bro, they ready.
They ready.
They are ready.
Let me go ahead and get the phone number up as well.
Yeah. We gotta let folks call in tonight, man. Really, gotta let folks call in tonight.
Yeah, we gotta let them get in here and do their thing.
Yeah.
And ain't no telling who may jump on with us tonight, man. Ain't no telling who may jump on with us. What's up, everybody? I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. You got me, Rocky, with my trusty sidekick, Steve Campbell of the FAMU Faithful. Everybody knows what we're on to talk about tonight. We had a big announcement earlier today. I think it first was announced on Twitter. I'm sure Mr. Campbell got his information from all his back channels about what was going on way before we did as usual. But this is a very interesting development for me when I analyze what has went on, Mr. Campbell, because this really could have been done 4 weeks ago. And now it's being done the day before my birthday, which is January 28th, when Willie left on January 1st. I was a ways away from being 54 when this when it happened. Now I'm 1 day away from being 54. And so before we get started and everything, Mr. Campbell, how you doing?
Rocky, listen, I'm excited. I'm so proud of my athletic director because she did her job. # do your job. So I'm just excited that we allowed her to do her job. You know what I mean? And things. And Rocky, I'm going to start off like this. You know what I mean? I'm going to channel for everybody what the AD is going to say. Okay? So I think we need to do that. You know what I mean? Because she has gotten a lot of scorn and people upset. So this is me channeling AD Sykes. Okay? So, we'll have to, do this. So to the Rattler Nation, I know that the journey was long, but I wanted to make sure that I turned over every stone and made sure that we did our due diligence to make sure that we found the very best football coach for Florida A&M University. And I am proud to say that right in the halls of that field house, I'm able to announce that James Colzie will be the next football coach for Florida A&M. While I know that we wanted this to be a quick and hurried process, I wanted to make sure that we had the right man for the job. So I'm asking all the Rattlers to gather around and welcome Coach Colzie. And we need to start the Cash for Colzie initiative because I can't give him no money without y'all. So we are starting the Cash for Colzie initiative. And I need all you Rattlers who were upset with me to say, hey, you know what? My bad. That's it. So that's what we're feeling right now, So on a serious note, Rocky, we talked about sitting in that first chair and understanding the process. This is what we saw OJT. This was on the job training that happened, and we saw it in real time. And while we should not have taken this long, while it was obvious, but I think this was good for AD Sykes, and I think this was good for the FAMU boosters and alums. Because I think what we all see, that we both need each other, to be honest with you. And we both both groups, entities need to be all on the same page. And we were not. And we had a delay. But the great thing about it, which I'm going to give Coach Colzie, Coach Smitty, Coach Roll, all those coaches, they kept those young men, as of right now, together. And from my understanding, it's a lot of guys that are already on Coach Colzie's Twitter say, hey, I want to come to FAMU. So this has a lot to do with the coaches and Coach Colzie and those guys believing in the process. So, that's why I kind of want to start that off.
Well, Mr. Campbell, as someone who was outside the process looking in, it was one of the best reality TV sagas.
Absolutely.
that I witnessed from the day, really before the weekend before New Year's, when it was announced that Willie may be leaving, and you guys went into fundraising hyperspeed,
right?
And would raise money to try to retain Willie Simmons. Then Willie Simmons ultimately decides that he's going to leave FAMU and go be the running back coach at Duke, right? Then there's a lull there for a few days, and then about 7 days after Willie resigns, it starts to leak that Sean Gibbs is the 19th coach of FAMU, and then all hell breaks loose.
All hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. And it was good that it broke loose. It was good. It was good that it broke loose. And the thing about it is, and I got to say, I'm proud of my fellow Rattler alums and those, like I said, at a higher pay grade than me. Shouts out to the National Alumni Association. And I'm going to say this, Rick, because they really stood out there on business. Because for them to take a vote, that's something they really had to think about, right? They don't do that just willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? That is something that is very respectful. And that is something I don't think anybody wants to do to anybody. You know what I mean? To have a vote of no confidence. But they understood the stakes at hand. And shouts out to Curtis Johnson and his leadership of how he laid out. And everybody was behind the fact of that. And I think that set the tone for saying, okay, we understand where you stand, but you got to know where we stand. And they held firm. And again, it was a respectful way they did it. It was businesslike. It was presented. Here's our case. Now, you don't have to like it, but we're telling you the reason why that we did it. So it shouts out, like I said, our alumni association for real.
Well, like I say, all hell broke loose. We went from having a vote of no confidence. Then the process in which Sean Gibbs was selected was challenged. Then there was a board of trustees meeting called to address the head coaching hire. You know, I actually thought the way it was presented that there was going to be a coach presented and a contract during that, but there wasn't. Yeah. There was an announcement that AD Sykes had hired or planned to hire a firm to assist her in selecting the next coach of FAMU. She had a plan of which she was going to go about doing that. And the trustees insisted that the faculty and alumni be involved in the process, which ultimately culminated in a search committee formed, you know, with the presidents of the DSOs being on that committee. Along with, I must give the chairman, Mr. Dr. Palm, a kudos, because he really navigated a really difficult situation with grace and dignity and never really got out of whack and never let it get out of order when there were clearly some really high emotions running in those committee meetings. And so, like I say, we got to see how the sausage was made for some of these big decisions. And it was, for me, it was riveting. It was some of the best you know, I would say it was reality TV, but with class, if you could say, if you could really say it. You saw Black folks operating at a very high level, right, to do business for a real situation or circumstance. This wasn't trumped up. This wasn't made up. This wasn't a script people were working off of. This was a real actual issue, conflict, for the lack of a better word, and you saw Black people work through it in a dignified, classy fashion. And I want to say that's credit not only to the FAMU alumni, faculty, and staff, but also the FAMU faithful as a whole. Man, y'all did a great job working through this situation. Go ahead.
Well, the thing was, you know, and me and you are the same age, so we came up during the O.J. Simpson trial era. So you know how you just had to just watch it. Like, people can't believe, man, we're watching this hours at a time, and all these different people, and people became stars and things like that. What you saw, and I'm going to say this again about people that are associated with Florida A&M University, these are high-level people that are competent, that had a high level character. So you wasn't going to see no Real Housewives of Atlanta going on there. You look at these people's resumes, these are serious business professionals. These are people that are top, and what they really wanted was to get to the end point that FAMU got the best coach necessary. So yeah, was it, a little bit uncomfortable for some people to see how the sausage was made? But the best thing about it was people got to see it, because now there was no secret how it went down. Now you saw how the process was, good, bad, or indifferent. And the thing about it is now, and I think the best thing I think our AD is going to learn from this is that you got to understand that your position is not only athletic director, it's political director. You got to understand the politics that surround any decision that you make. And you got to make, it's just like when you go out there being president, you got to go hunt for votes. You got to make sure that you have people that believe in what you're trying to sell and they understand your vision. And I think that's really what she's going to, I hope that she learns, is that because now the thing about it is, yeah, you know what? Should she have hired Coach? I said this from day one. When Willie got on there and said he was gone, Coach should have been sitting right next to him and he passed the baton. That's really what should have happened. But it didn't. She had her idea of what she wanted to do. She went and tried to do it. But the thing about it is now the decision is done. And the decision was done based off of some of the factors, maybe because of pay, maybe because of continuity. All these different things came into play. And what I like now is that what I really like about the FAMU Nation is that, okay, you know what? AD Sykes, she did her thing. We behind Coach Colzie now. It's time to ride. And that's all you heard is what can we do to support the players and Coach Colzie? What can we do to support, the additional entities, assistant coaches and things like that? Are the assistant coaches, are they going to be taken care of? But we want to make sure all of that, because again, we knew, this is the reason why we were fighting so hard. We got a championship team, Rocky. If we had a team where all the guys that graduated and you kind of look, I don't know about that. But we knew if we could run it back, we got a championship team. We had the best coaching staff in the SWAC. That was a fact. We had the most players that were all SWAC coming back. That's a fact. We've got a home game winning streak. That's a fact. And we're champions, which is a fact. So let's run it back. Let's run it back.
Well, again, it's funny. It's really funny that, after the SWAC championship, me, you, and Dr. D had almost like a prophetical conversation on the way back to Atlanta from the SWAC championship. Like we discussed what would happen, hypothetically, what would happen if Willie left. Like all of these things we discussed. And it didn't play out the way the time frame we thought they would, right? But it kind of played out the way what made sense, even when Willie was preparing for the Celebration Bowl and having major success. You realized, the FAMU fan base realized probably that Willie could go on to greener pastures. What was the succession plan? And and I know you in particular thought the succession plan was, hey, let's keep this on the tracks with somebody who's already there and move forward, considering everything that was happening with the program. You got to understand, you just had won the SWAC championship. You were on your way to the Celebration Bowl, and you knew what I didn't know, that the Celebration Bowl would take y'all to a whole different stratosphere of success. I didn't realize that in the moment. You knew that, right? And it did. It took y'all to another stratosphere, to the point to where you had Power 5 players committing to FAMU, before the new year. You know what I mean? And that in and of itself put y'all in a situation where not only were y'all the odds-on favorite to win the SWAC, repeated Celebration Bowl champions, but y'all were on the pace to being one of the most dominant teams in FCS, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was the thing, and I think it's Maya in the chat. She's saying, can decommits commit? Yeah, they can. They if they have not enrolled in school somewhere, or if they are still in their previous school and they're still in the portal, yeah, they can still come right back. Matter of fact, I've already heard a couple of guys that quote unquote decommitted are looking to recommit because of Coach Colzie, because he was the one that established a relationship with these young men. So I'm already excited about that. I think one of the things too that people got to understand is that where we were at, like you say, at the zenith, And for this to start playing out, and you could see it, wait a minute, we don't want to tear this down. We don't want this descent. And it get to a low point where Sean Gibbs was named. Because that was the low point right there, right? When we saw Sean Gibbs and people. Now, people are saying, well, you know, you guys got what you want. Well, here's the thing. And I'm going to tell anybody this. Anytime a new coach is hired, you don't know what's going to happen. That's just a fact. We don't know what the coach for Alabama is going to do. We don't know what the new coach of Washington is going to do. We don't know what Sharon Moore is going to do. That's all. There's no guaranteed coach other than maybe Phil Jackson because he knows what the talent he had coming in. But overall, we get that. So that's just a chance we have to take. But when you are doing a coach's decision like this, you basically say the positives and the negatives. And the scale got to go one way or another. So here's what the scale was. We looked at the scale, and this is what everybody was looking at. And this had nothing to do with the coaches from the outside that could be great coaches. But the biggest thing was the continuity of the players. They had already said, if somebody else comes in, we're leaving. that makes the scale really start tipping. Coach Colzie, has everybody says, a great guy. Everybody say he's well respected. He's a good recruiter. So when you start looking at that list of 40 plus people, you couldn't see anybody that was that far ahead of him. There was nobody on the list like, oh, you got to get that guy. So that's where the problem came in at. So when you looked at it, it was better to do like Michigan in their particular instance and say, you know what, let's go with continuity. Because we weren't like Alabama. If we would have had a guy that played in the coaching the national championship, right, and built the program, then that's fine. We didn't have that option. We didn't have a guy like that. So there was no DeBoer out there from Washington to come to FAMU. It was a continuity choice, which was the Michigan choice, which at this stage, that was the better thing for FAMU.
Hey, you have so many connections, Mr. Campbell, and I'm just honored in this situation to be on the panel with you. You have made reservations for a very special guest, and I can't wait to bring him up, Coach. But I want to give people an opportunity to guess who we're about to bring up on the very day that FAMU hires their permanent football coach, the 19th permanent football coach. Guess who we have as a special guest?
Who we got, Rocky? Who we got?
Guess who we have as a special guest? You think they'll ever guess?
No, they can't.
Y'all won't get. Give me some guesses. Who do y'all think we have as a special guest coming up? We got Colzie. That's a great guess. You know what? You know what? We got somebody better than Colzie. I'm just gonna go and say this. The guest we got is better than Colzie. Better than Colzie. Now, that's another great guess. AD Sykes. AD Sykes. Now, somebody guessed AD Sykes. Oh, Willie Simmons. Golly, Willie Simmons. That'd be great. Well, I'm going to let y'all know. Hell no, it ain't Mr. Ford. Hell no, it ain't Mr. Ford. I'm going to let you know that right goddamn now. But with no further ado, we'll bring up the man himself, the man of the hour, none other than Scotty.
I'm that guy. I'm a special guest on my own show. I love it. And listen, I appreciate it.
What's up, Scotty?
Man, chilling. Just me and the wife, we moving, we getting situated, getting settled. Man, I appreciate y'all for sending me the link so I can jump on.
No, man, we appreciate you just letting us, fly the plane. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no, right? We didn't have no theme music or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get to dance or nothing like that. We're going to have to have like some kind of alternate, like I say, like PTI. We got to have some alternate music or something like that, some old head music. You know what I'm saying? Got to have some new edition or Ready for the World or something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Some NWA or something, bring that in.
Y'all want to make this a thing now, you let me know. I can get my guy to make a theme song. We can make it
listen, bro. Listen. We here, man. We here. We here. Get that old head beat. You know what I'm saying? Them 808s going. Let's go. Let's get it. Hey, man, listen. I just rap back in my younger day, man. I'll drop a bar too, man. Watch out.
Hey, man. Hey, and we get some of those old school video vixens to come out of retirement.
I got them. I got all their numbers. They used to come to all my parties, right? I got all their numbers.
All right. Let's not go down memory lane. All right, Let's stay on track here, fellas.
Hey, Scotty, I know you have an opinion about this, so I'm gonna just step back and let you give us what you think about what has transpired today.
Let me say this. If I'm FAMU, I would have to be upset. And I'm upset because of how we got here. Not of the guy that we wanted from day one. Absolutely not. It's how we got to this situation, right? So let's go back to go forward. You refuse to interview anybody on the staff when Willie leaves. You then jump on your guy Gibbs, and you pretty much then say, hey, we're going to get a search firm. You pay the search firm $75,000, and everybody around FAMU has got you set up to do it the way they want it to be done. To all come back to this moment of Colzie. Now, if y'all didn't think she wanted to go left, she absolutely did, because she wanted to hire Fred McNair, but couldn't reach his money value. Now, the funny thing is this. The same bridges you burned are the same bridges you had to cross to ask for more money to get your guy. But since you wanted to be Miss Big Girl Bad, now you sit here looking...
The original big girl.
The original big girl. Now you want to sit here being the big girl bad. Now you sitting here looking stupid because a guy you could have had from day one that you had to jump through all these hoops to get, that you didn't want to have, now he's your 19th head coach. Now the real question is what you put on the title. Can they work together? And to me, I'm going to be a buck. And I'm not that mature. Now, Mr. Campbell's been working on me. You know, we've had conversations. I'm not that mature. There's not a good thing I would say about her. If somebody brought her name up, I'd be like, yeah, that's my AD. But that's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. So I just want to know, where does FAMU go from here? Because you lost some recruits. Can you get those guys back? How does that second portal look with Colzie now being named? That's the next look that they need to be looking at, is that second portal window opening. But for FAMU fans, they should be excited that they're settled in. They got their guy. But how they got here, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed.
But Scotty, let me ask you this: does it really what happened to get to? For the FAMU faithful, they got to the right decision. They got to what they wanted, right? Does it matter whether that you had to force somebody to do what they should have done? Let me ask you this. Let me just use an analogy. Does it matter whether the biological father volunteers to give the mother money every month, or whether he just pays it on his own? Does it matter?
It depends on if you're trying to send a message. And I think FAMU Nation was trying to send a message like, you don't run nothing. Like, you think you run something, but you don't run nothing, right? So it's like, sometimes even as the government, a parent, I got to show you, because a hard head make a soft ass, right? So now I got to show you how we play this game, and we play it better than you. Why? It's because there's people higher than you, and plus your position is based off of being a people pleaser. You can't listen. This ain't Wisconsin to where they got 200 million sitting in the bank. Go ahead.
But Scotty, when that $850 hit that child support card every month, it's been the same.
It does. You're right. But not in the sense of, if we're moving away from that, right? Not in the sense of to where now, if you're FAMU and you understand your power with your money, it moves different. Like she can't move the same. Like Mr. Campbell said, if all these HBCUs got what they deserve, they'd be sitting on pots of money that she could just pull from, no ifs and no worries, and whoop-de-whoop. But that's not what it is. You got to come ask us for when you need us. And when you need me, I'm not going to be there. So I'm still stand on that investment in champions. That stuff is out the window. Like, yeah, people are happy, but they're going to make you feel it. They're going to really make her feel it because of all the stuff that they put FAMU Nation through just to get to a guy they said you should have hired in the beginning. And let me say this, and I know Mr. Campbell's going to use the Michigan analogy. I don't know if you guys already brought it up. This is my thing.
No, we haven't.
Michigan had a right to go away from the Harbaugh tree. Why? All the violations they had received while Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan. They're all part of that same crew. The suspensions, the rumors of cheating, all that. And they still saying, we good. We gonna run it back. We're going to run it back. And it's the same thing for FAMU. Even if Big Girl didn't like the culture that Willie set, you don't have the right to go against the national champions. They're a national champion for a reason. So listen, I hope FAMU really make her feel it when it comes to donating. Because at the end of the day, yes, it hurts her, but I know Mr. Campbell, we talked about it offline. He said it still hurts FAMU at the end of the day, and nobody wants to see FAMU hurt. But somehow, some way, she got to feel this one. I'm sorry. I'll be like, don't talk to me. You better get somebody else to ask me for money because I ain't giving it to you.
Hey, we got another special guest coming up, right? And I won't make y'all guess. I won't give y'all the suspense of bringing up Scotty because he's so important that there's no way. Y'all couldn't even guess this, who I'm about to bring up now. Y'all wouldn't even be able to do. None other than the coach himself, Johnny Cole.
What's up, Coach?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Look, hey, my phone just kept going off on and on and on and on today. I said, oh, they must be making some moves over at A&M. And we done went through all this tear, and they finally done what we told them they were supposed to do 2 or 3 weeks ago. Or months now. What was it, 1 month ago?
Basically a month, pretty much, if you want to say.
We're out of here. I got to finish packing.
All right, Scotty.
All right, y'all take it easy.
Man,
all right.
December 28th is when the rumor that Willie was leaving broke. Right? That's when Willie was leaving broke. But at the end of the day, it was, I really want to talk to Mr. Campbell. I really would like the FAMU faithful to call in and let us know, can this situation be repaired, right? Can the FAMU faithful, can AD Sykes save face, repair this relationship, or is it irreparable damage done and it'll always be a strain moving forward until she's gone?
Well, definitely damage is being done. The damage is there, whether it be fixed or not. I mean, you got to win, baby, win.
But even if they win, Coach, I was gonna say, if they win another Celebration Bowl, does that repair the damage that AD Sykes did? But will she get credit for as an AD when she didn't really hire the coach who wins the Celebration Bowl?
Go ahead, Mr. Campbell. It's your school.
Well, here's the thing. This is where the problem comes in at. We're more worried about the way things look than the way things are. Who's getting credit? Who's doing that? She is an administrator, okay? Her job is to make sure that FAMU athletics runs correctly. So it shouldn't be about who gets credit, who pats on the back, the most Instagram likes, the most Twitter likes. What I want my AD to do is hire competent coaches. So really her next step is going to be what's going to happen with the basketball team, because that might be an opportunity there to hire another coach. So my thing is, what I will say to AD Sykes is that, you know what? You don't have to like somebody to work with somebody. Do your job. Do your job at a very high level. Make sure you got everything together. You sit down, you present your plan for fundraising like they asked you. It's a competent plan. It's a plan that looks like it's going to work. And then, you know what? Behind the scenes, then maybe you say, you know what? And I would reach out to you and say, I think we got off on the wrong foot. Let's restart this relationship. You know what? I've been around here a year. I kind of understand that. Guess what? Y'all do brag different. So let's change the tone, because there are times when I get in arguments with people and people want to go back and forth. You know what I do? I say, let me change the tone. Let me lower the temperature, because somebody has to be humble enough to restart the conversation. So that's what this is really about. So it's not about if we like her or love her, because I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people don't even know who the AD usually is. We know who the AD is because of all the stuff she was doing that brought attention to herself. So put your head down, do your job, make sure that you got a balanced budget, make sure you got a great fundraising plan, make sure that the things that athletic director is supposed to do fulfill your job requirements, and that will make her successful. That's what she should be worried about. Not if anybody likes her.
Will she be viewed?
True, you know.
Go ahead, Coach. No.
Well,
Go ahead.
Know, that's one thing about leadership is, it's real simple. If everybody liking you, you ain't doing your job. Because you got to make some decisions, some hard decisions, and they got to be the right decisions. And that's like taking the fleas with the dog. And that's what happened to her in this case, and hopefully. They can, like you said, they can repair the relationship because it's about FAMU. It's not about any individual there or any school. But I'll tell you, being at a whole bunch of black schools or HBCU schools, I should say, that's where we go wrong at. We always making decisions off emotions and not doing the right thing. Do I like them? Oh man, his suits are clean, or we always got to get this ideal about. Somebody that got some arrogance, and arrogance is an asset. It's not a liability. When you want a leader, you want a guy that stands by what he says and what he does. So, it's just simple. This happens every year, on our campuses, and we don't do the business right. I mean, let's face it, we don't do the business. Let's just look back this whole year about all the coaches we don't hire. Nothing went smooth. Then when you can look at the big schools, they're making decisions in 4 and 5 days. And they giving away millions, not 100,000s, millions. Because they're going after number one thing, winners. Who are the winners? That's what we want to do where we are in our program. Michigan did blow the ship up. So,
let's give one school credit. Alcorn made a decision quite smoothly. They decided shortly after it was announced that Fred McNair was the leading candidate for the TSU job officially. They made a decision and hired Coach Thomas. Other than that, you're right, Coach. It's been a debacle. Each coaching situation has been a debacle, and even some things behind the scene with some coaching hires has been a debacle as well. And so, I think in FAMU's situation, they had a really different set of circumstances than any of the other schools, in that they had a AD who was this was her first job as an AD. This was about first time making a football hire. And I don't think she understand the gravity of that decision. And she made it as if she was hiring a secretary or or administrative assistant. And she didn't realize that hiring a football coach should be a team effort. It shouldn't be just her decision. She should take input from everybody that is involved in the FAMU family, so to speak. But the other situations, the one at TSU, that was a debacle. It drug on for a couple months, and in that situation, the AD didn't get to hire who he wanted, and someone got hired that I still don't know how he got the job. So, so anyway, at the end of the day, I think FAMU is in a situation where they ultimately got what they want. And I'm gonna be honest when I say this. This hire establishes FAMU back at the top of the SWAC and the top of black college football. The 4 weeks that went on, in my opinion, because Colzie was selected, there was minimal damage done the past 4 weeks, and FAMU is the big dog still. Do you guys see anything about that changing because of what happened 4 weeks ago?
Well, I don't, because like I said, the biggest thing is, we got the most all SWAC players coming back. We've got, looks like most of the coaching staff is going to come back. We'll have to see with maybe one or two coaches. We've got an excited alumni base that is ready to donate money. And when I say, I have got more texts from people saying, we got to make sure Coach Colzie has what he said. So when you've got that, because money makes the world go round. And when you're able to get the alumni base, because like I say, people, I see people saying what the alumni got, what they wanted. You know what? You're right. We sure did. And we also know that comes with a level of responsibility. So we can't leave Coach Colzie out there on the island. We have got to support him financially to make sure he has everything that he needs to be successful. And also, too, here's the thing with the AD and her choice. People, this wasn't just somebody in their kitchen basement that had issues. These were high-level football people that even was questioning this. And Coach, you, like I say, you could talk about this. We talked about this on the show. You are a championship coach. And even you were like, I don't know about this decision. You know what I mean? There were other people that, there were other people on your level. So it wasn't just the alumni because we just didn't like her. That had nothing to do with it. This was people were looking at this from a football standpoint. Well, I just don't, and I'm going to say this again. If somebody shows me the coach that she had that had the level that deserved a FAMU job, I'll give you $100. You're not going to show me that because Sean Gibbs was not that guy. I'm sorry. No way.
Well, I told you, I mean, she was blowing the ship up when she went outside so fast and so quickly, and why would you blow the ship up when you're at the mountaintop? You in Black College national champions. And evidently, that staff, the head coach is all about a staff. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, I don't know Colzie, but hopefully he won't change a whole lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure, his personality would fit the team, but all he got to come in and he got a loaded gun. All he got to do is squeeze the trigger, and hopefully he don't try to reinvent the wheel, because winning formulas are winning formulas.
Yeah.
Well, I see some people disagreeing with my assessment that FAMU is still the big dog. Let me remind y'all, since y'all have such a poor memory. Prior to January 1st, FAMU won all their games in the SWAC. They were undefeated. They also won the Celebration Bowl. Even prior to that, in the SWAC, they were, I want to say 22 in Dion, right? 22 in Prime. They've only lost 5 conference games since Willie Simmons has been there in the last 5 years. They come out of that situation, right? Coming out of that situation, Willie does resign, but none of the players enter the portal. They lose their championship coach, and none of the players enter the portal. Do you know how big that is, guys? That means they have a plan. They have continuity. The coaches that were still in question held on to those players, and they were able to keep those players from entering the portal. That's huge. On the most talented team in the SWAC.
For the last
5
years. For the last 5 years.
Yeah. How can they not be the big dog still? Now, of course, they lost Willie. He is their play caller, but they still have their DC. They still have that talent, all that talent, right? And they have what you know better than me, Mr. Campbell. They have the longest home winning streak in FCS football.
And that's the thing about it. It's again, and I want to say this, Coach Rez, and I understand he had it to make a choice, but I'm gonna tell you something. There's some really interesting people for that recruiting job that want to come to Florida A&M University, that have a lot of connections in the state of Florida, 707 coaches, AAU coaches that understand how to recruit these players. So again, this is the thing about it. When you have a good situation like Florida A&M University, it allows you to attract high-level people. Look at the people that apply for the job, all 50 of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. So when people are like, oh, they lost this, they lost that, first of all, our DC has not gone anywhere until y'all see him saying that he put on a new jack, he's still there. Coach Colzie's still there. Coach Roll's still there. The offensive line coach is still there. So yes, Willie was the like I say, nobody. Coach Simmons was the best football coach in HBCU football, point blank, period. So you're always going to take a level down. But now what you do is you just hire guys that incubate, and then you work those players that we got. So yeah, I'm super confident because I'm gonna say this again. Any one of your teams got 7 SWAC players coming back? No, you don't. That's called talent. That's called talent.
They say Willie called plays. Willie didn't run a touchdown, didn't catch a touchdown, nor did he throw one. Didn't make a tackle, a sack. Again, I understand the impact of the coach, right? But FAMU's, at this point, Willie is gone. They're still the most talented team in the SWAC. That's a fact. And doesn't they? Okay. Before Willie left, y'all would agree that FAMU was the odds-on favorite, right?
Without blink, I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay.
Coach Simmons said, real quick, Coach Simmons said he even felt that the 2024 team could even be more talented than the 2023 team. He said that, not me. He said that.
So what I'm gonna ask you, this: with installing Colzie as the head coach, what coach in the SWAC is hands down better than Colzie? I'll wait.
They're not going to say that because that's what I'm saying. We don't have a superstar coach in the SWAC right now. We got some good coaches.
Coach
T.C. Taylor is a good coach. Coach Eddie Robinson is a good coach, but we don't have any superstar coaches right now in the SWAC. We don't because they haven't proven it yet. So like I say, so yeah. So Coach Cole, like, please tell these folks. Please school these folks.
Well, without a doubt, Florida A&M is always have been, always will be having a good football program. They had a down year after Billy Joe, but they was able to come back, and now they're back where they are. I think that the coaching staff is the coaching staff is the head coach. You know what I mean? When you win championships, that means you got good coaches around you, and most of the time, those coaches move on to be coordinators and head coaches. And in this simple case, it was even ludicrous to even think about going outside and hiring somebody. You know what I mean? Because you owe those assistant coaches a chance to keep it going in the right direction. I think you owe it to Florida A&M alumni to keep it in the right direction. You didn't need this hiccup. You didn't need this bump in the road. It was uncalled for. But when you look at the conference, I think you got Florida A&M number 1. I think you got Jackson State number 2. I think you got Alabama State, Alcorn in the hunt. I think then next, man, it's a toss-up to me. You got Prairie View, got a second-year coach now, stumbled into the championship game, and then didn't even make a fight for the game. You know what I mean? They beat them 45-7 first time. Then came back and beat them 30, 35-14. I mean, there it is right there. So ain't no question that they will be the team to beat next year. And the other schools are getting better. Alabama State made a big move on hiring a new offensive coordinator because they were bad. They played championship defense, but they just couldn't score.
Score.
Yeah, that's still a question mark right there with the new guy coming in. But Pine Bluff, Texas Southern. I mean, even with Southern, that move with Southern. We brought Terrence Graves on the show. I mean, he got some credentials, but just the way the situation was, you get rid of the head coach, and then you hire the assistant. You don't hire one of the coordinators. You hire an assistant.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's questionable, but he has the pedigree, and he's on the clock.
Hey, we got a caller that's about to call in, but I want to take a moment to know if you are listening to this on the off script channel, please go down in the description, click the Rocky's YouTube channel, and please hit subscribe. Definitely would appreciate that. Not all of my our Coaching Hours content will be on Off Script, so please, if you go down and we have some other social media that we'd like you to follow as well. Coach Cole's social media is there as well as mine. So I'd like to thank y'all for doing that if you would. But with no further ado, we have a caller with the last 4 of 8572. What's your name and where you calling from?
What's going on, Rocky? I'm from this good state of Michigan, man. I've been following HBCU for a while. I wanted to ask Mr. Campbell, in terms of, man, you know, a lot of people don't, you know, I've been following Fort A&M. Fort A&M got a lot of talent, especially that young guy that went to go play for the Dallas Cowboys, Bell. I mean, because I remember when he played, I don't think he played a full season in the Big Ten, but I know he had went to Maryland. But, man, Fort A&M has been able to get a lot of talent. Our question to you is, what do you think in terms of, you talked about the recruiters, do you know any of the recruiters that will come to Fort A&M to try to take over the position where the gentleman left to go to another school?
I can tell you right now, it's 5 guys that are in the state of Florida that have already inquired about the job, that have 7-on-7 high-level coaching, dealt with players in the summer. You've got several high school coaches that want that opportunity. So that's the thing about it, because what it does is it's a great stepping stone to get in being a college coach, being in a college program. So you got a guy that say, hey, man, I'm not been a position coach, but I have connections with players. So you can come and be a recruit. Look what happened to Coach Rez. He's at Colorado from being at FAMU. So that alone lets you know you can have a great opportunity come to FAMU and go to a Power 5 and be a Power 5 recruiter. So, yeah, I'm telling you right now, it is people that have already that want to talk about that job. Now, I know Coach Colzie because, again, he knows way better than I do. He's going to find somebody that fills that position, that what he's looking for to get talent at FAMU. But I think that's going to be the least our worries, to be honest with you, to fill that position. Totally honest with
you. Hey, Rocky, I got one more thing to ask Coach Cole. My question, Coach Cole, why do you think a lot of the coaches in HBCU don't get opportunities at the Power 5? And what do you think about with Willie leaving? I know Deion, he had his little thing, but do you think you're going to see more HBCU coaches go to the Power 5 in the next few years? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I thought Willie would have went to Colorado to call plays, especially when I saw my man, but I know Willie might not have did that, but I thought that was the next track for him, and I'll just take your answer offline.
Yeah. The number one thing, we don't have a network of up in the PWIs or Power 5, you know, because most of us come from HBCU schools. Number 2, the brothers up on that level don't reach back. I'm excited that we hired 4 Black NFL coaches. My question that always been, because I started back in the 80s and stuff really hadn't changed a lot. But in the NFL, they hired 4 Black guys. But what impressed me is if I go visit him, what does his coaching room look like? Does it look like him or does it look like somebody else? Bruce Arrington of Tampa proved that Black coaches can coach on the most highest level. And I don't want to jump over. But in the college realm, when you walk in, only right now, Power 5 coach that you walk in his office or in his meeting room, and everybody looks like him is Deion Sanders. That's one thing I'm going to give him, that he look out and each one bring one, each one teach one. And you can't, you know, they like a lot they say about, well, you need to come up to the school or you know, get in your car. But when I'm making $40,000 and $50,000, I can't afford that. I can't afford missing work to go up there for a week. My thing is, you guys are making $3 and $4 and $5 and $600,000. You bring a coach up, bring 2 coaches up. You know, I know when me and my brother coached, we would always take our staffs because we had the networking. You know, my brother had worked in the Division 1A programs. We had the network, and we would take our staff up there to meet other coaches and to see how they do it at the higher level. Not saying that they do it right, but to see how they do it. So I think it starts right there, you know, and they hire each other, man. They don't get in each other's personal life and all that. They take care of each other. Look at Coach Simmons, I ain't got to Duke. He took care of the head coach's son, hired him on the staff. So now I owe you one. But we don't do that. We get up there and we want to be that only guy up there, you know. And until we change that attitude and change the way, you know, they still telling us, Rocky, well, y'all need to cut your hair and, you know, stop wearing warm-up suits and you know, groom yourself and speak well. Man, we've been done that. And they, at this last coaching convention, they said the same old thing. That's been going on for now 30 plus years. But we need those opportunities, and the only thing who's going to do it is us.
Well, I don't know any difference. I think all coaches wear polos and khakis now. I don't think that's any different, you know. And I think some coaches wear a beard at the Power 5 level. Some coaches wear a beard at the FCS Black College Football level. I don't think there are any differences there. I don't think an attire or appearance is a big difference. I just think what you said before, though, Coach, is the biggest issue. The first thing you said, the network, because these guys are hiring people they know, people they work with, people they're comfortable with, and I don't think that's different than any other industry here in America. And I'll let Mr. Campbell provide input on what he sees from his vantage point about what the challenges are related to Black coaches being hired.
I think it's what Coach Cole said. It's the network, and honestly, these coaches close the network off. And you look at most of the players that actually get a chance to coach. You know what they have to do? They have to go to their alma mater, and they have to start at the very bottom and hope that they can move, and then they have to stay there because nobody says, "Hey, come over here, come over there." Then you see a couple of guys move around, but like Coach Cole said, it is about somebody referring you, say, "Hey, I got a great guy. He can come over there. Right now, I got him as a wide receiver coach, but you know what? That guy really should be an OC. But I've got an OC here." And those are things that you just don't see. And again, this is nothing new. We see this at all the levels in coaching, professional and college, that you don't see the opportunities for Black coaches to get the DC and all. Because like I said, we got wide receiver coaches, running back coach, defensive back coaches all over the place. But being that OC and D, especially that OC position, you just do not see Black people getting that opportunity. And that's what people look at all the NFL. They want offensive guys, right, Coach? They're looking for offensive guys. Well, how can I be an offensive guy if I'm never the OC? And you keep me in the running back coach and the wide receiver. You know, so
go ahead.
So I'm agreeing with you so heartily because I have friends, like I said, I have a lot of friends that are coaches all over the place, and that's one of their frustrations. These guys, man, can draw players better than anybody. But who's going to give them the opportunity to be the OC? And then they're stuck being wide receiver coaches and receiver coaches. Well, and that takes somebody to give somebody the opportunity.
You know, it's funny, Rocky, that I keep telling you guys. In the last 23 years, there's not one coach in HBCU that have won a championship in the last 20 years is still coaching. We all up on the shelf. These guys are the guys that's supposed to move up. They recruit our players. They recruit our players, don't they? Why they don't recruit our coaches? You know, yeah, it takes Willie Simmons, how long he been in the SWAC? About 10 years before somebody come and
9 years?
Yeah, 9 years. I mean, and Dion took some of his guys, but besides that, I mean, if you win a championship is championship. It no matter what level it is. It's irrelevant. You know, that was one of the things when I first started off at coaching. I was at an NAI school, and we finished number 4 in the nation in offense. And I asked my head coach who finished from Nebraska, I said, "Man, you think I could do this on the next level?" He said, "It's irrelevant. You'll have better players on the next level. It's irrelevant. Your system, what you have is better." So when I look at that, you know, we're not even developing people. Now we're telling our Black college coaches that we can't get Black college jobs unless we coached at a PWI school. That's got to be on your resume. What? I can't just say enough about my school, Texas Southern University, just the choices they make on a head coach and why and what are they looking at? You know, I mean, I don't have nothing against Coach Dishman, but he doesn't excite me about that he can come into a perennial losing program and turn it around. Nothing on his pedigree to say that he's going to be successful. Analytics say he ain't going to be successful, Rob. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen. Miracles happen. But who in the hell hires a coach on miracles?
You know, Coach, without having a track record of success or having the formula to build a program up.
Let me answer this guy that I never coach FBS. You're definitely wrong about that. I coached at the University of Cincinnati, and I coached overseas in the World Football League. So no, you're wrong about that. And I definitely know more than you.
Yeah. Hey,
please.
I didn't mean to put that up there so you could.
Yeah, you should.
But
please. I wish I. Please, you better look at my resume. I ain't never lost Coach, nowhere, buddy.
He don't know what them rings mean behind you, Coach. That's what it is. He don't know what those rings are.
Coach, yeah, not even coach my little son. Show him those rings, Coach. Show him those rings.
Oh yeah, there they go. Please,
Coach.
That's the problem.
Coach, let me ask you this here, Coach, because I got to put you in this situation. Had the AD looked over you as the coach, and then only have to come back and hire you because they were forced to, what kind of mindset would that put you in working with the AD?
Are you speaking of my alma mater or just period?
No, I'm speaking. Excuse me. I want to go back to FAMU for a moment, right? Had you been looked over like Colzie was by the AD, she wanted to hire someone else, right? She wasn't able to hire that person. She was put in a situation where she almost, you could say she was forced to hire you, right? How would you and her relationship, how would you build a relationship moving forward, knowing that was the situation or circumstances?
To me, she would have to build a relationship. She's going to have to fix it and be genuine, work with him. I don't think it's up to him to fix things. I think it's up to her. Now, she could make it hard. You know, it depends on what's on the inside of her. She really could do some damage and cut him in some ways and make things hard for he can't win, or make it hard for him to win. So definitely I would have a meeting with her and, talk man to woman about where do we go from here? And it's important that we do get along. It's important that people see us getting along. So, and I'm hoping that was Miss Sykes, don't have that burning, because some people will take that personal. And you could see it in your personality and your attitude, but we definitely would sit down and try, because the trust has been broken. And we're going to have to definitely work on the trust of them. And it's about talking and communicating with each other and making sure that we put FAMU first before we put ourselves.
Rocky, let me take this from a financial aspect. I think people miss. The AD has bonuses in her contract for the football coach to win games. She gets a bonus when we win the SWAC championship. She gets a bonus when we win the Celebration Bowl. She gets a bonus when we win the Florida Classic. So here's the thing. It behooves her to want the coach to win. See, this is what I'm saying. We have to move past some of this personal stuff. We have to sit back and look at the business side of this. So from a business standpoint, she should want Coach Cole to be successful because financially it helps her out. So I'm like Coach Cole. So you know what I would do is that, Coach, I want, however she wants to explain it. I wanted to make sure I did a detailed search. You are a coach now. I'm going to support you. Tell me what I need. But then she has the right to give him expectations. If her expectation is, Coach, I want to make sure that our kids are hitting APR, that they're going to class. I need you to put things in place. Then you let him know what you expect out of him. See, because if you tell me what you expect out of me, then if I fail, that's on me. But if you don't tell me what the expectation is, then that's on you. So she should give him the expectation right up front. Let's lay it all out so we can be successful, so we can go back and be national champions again.
Well, I wanted to check and make sure that she either congratulated him or announced him, as the head coach. And,
she did.
She did, and I think that was real classy and to be expected. You know what I mean? But I wanted to make sure that there was no,
animosity.
No animosity or defiance in this particular situation, because this is, when you think about it, Coach, this is a huge accomplishment as a head coach. This will be Coach Colzie's first head coaching job at the FCS level. What was did you consider it an accomplishment when you got your first head job at the FCS level?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's a great feeling, to come back. And it was even greater for me because I was able to come back and be the head coach of my alma mater, something that I always wanted to do. And, I always told you guys, most black college coaches, once they come back to black college schools, they good where they are. They're not trying to move and go to a PWI school. I mean, I would have probably retired at Texas Southern University, if things would have worked out. Unfortunately, they didn't, but that's the accomplishment. And it's sad to say, guys, that it is like a ceiling over our heads. I mean, we talk. Let's do the numbers. How many HBCU coaches have left HBCU and went on to be a head coach at PWI? Yeah. How many coordinators has been left? I don't even know any. I don't even know any. And we've had some great coaches coming through. So it's almost like when we coach with a ceiling and we try to get these head jobs. And when we don't get these head jobs at black schools, man, and we keep going and giving them away to these guys who went to PW colleges, we're not growing, we're not developing coaches out of HBCU, and it hurts, man. And you'll end up. I mean, let's look at the conference of how many of those guys are HBCU graduates. You got Bubba McDowell, Miami. You got Chris Dishman, Georgia, I want to say.
No, I think Louisville. Yeah, Louisville. Yeah.
Eddie Robinson is one. Maynard is one. But
Colzie at Florida State.
Exactly. The guy up at Florida, UAPB is not one. Mickey Joseph is Nebraska. So when you see that, man, what does that tell you? I don't even want to go by. We can dip down and start talking about, well, who's the OCs? But we ask the question, why do black coaches don't go up there? Shit, we don't take care of ourselves.
Sorry about that, guy.
Yeah.
Went down the wrong pipe. But no, hey, we ain't gonna stay on here too long. We do have the call lines open, so if you do want to call, you certainly can call in and make a comment. I also want to encourage, if you are listening or watching on the Off Script channel, please go down in the description, select our YouTube page, and please become a subscriber. We greatly appreciate that.
Well, so Rocky, I want to bring Coach back on something. So, Coach, let me ask you a question. Coach Colzie has now been hired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the big office. What do you think his first month he should be doing right now? If knowing that he's moved from the interim coach, which he was, and now he's the head coach, and knowing everything, what do you think in the first month he should be doing? And kind of something you walk us through that.
Right now is recruiting, and his situation is different from just a new coach walking in. A new coach walking in don't even know where the bathroom is. He got all that. He got his staff. He's very familiar with the program. He's very familiar with his players. His thing is just to pick it back up where it's at. There might be some things that he, when Simmons was there, that he might want to change, but I'm hoping that it ain't a wholesale change.
Right.
You know what I mean? It might be some players that, because coaches have their favorites and players to a extent that not to let them screw up, but maybe give this player 1 or 2 or 3 chances, to stay around. So, and the other thing is making sure the mugs start working on APR. Say, look, this is our issue here. We can win championships, and I can make money, and the coaches can make money and move on. But if you at the fence, outside the fence, can't get in a Rattler game because you don't have a good job because you didn't graduate, that's on me. And it ain't going to be on me. We're going to start going to school. We're going to start going to class and coaches. That's our number one priority. We want to make sure these kids going to class and doing what they're supposed to do. Because we're not going to be winning championships and not winning the big championship, which is graduating. Student athlete.
I asked you this year, Coach. This is another scenario. He was the interim coach, but 3 other coaches on that staff, 2 other coaches on that staff applied for the same job he was hired for. How does that affect the coaching staff's chemistry in those situations? How could it?
Well, it's up to the men. It's up to the gentleman. That I unfortunately, man, I got to hear a job. Well, not unfortunate, but I got to hear a job. I expect you guys to continue to do what you need to do to make us the best program in the country. And it's up to them to make it right, of getting in that office and meeting. And they probably talked about it. I can remember a couple of staffs I was on where the head coach was fired, and then we were sitting around. And it got ugly. It's got ugly. And again, the difference is when you win, there's a difference than a team that's a losing program than a winning program. Meaning we're doing things right. Maybe I didn't get the job here at Florida A&M, but maybe we might get the job somewhere else. So I think the men, they need to be men. They need to understand that it's about FAMU. It ain't about me. And it's about the job that I have. So I think, again, I don't know them like that, but I'm pretty sure that they'll put it together, man, and continue to roll like they've been rolling for the last 5 years. Those guys been working together for what? At least 5, 6 years. You spend more time with your coaching mates than your own family sometimes. So I'm pretty sure, they got a close-knit coaching staff.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Campbell. As far as with the FAMU faithful, what do you think Coach Colzie's first order of business should be as it relates to the FAMU faithful?
Well, I really hope that Coach Colzie calls the NAA president, and let's get that strike tour going right now. Let's get Coach Colzie in Miami, Orlando, Atlanta, Houston, D.C., Chicago. Let the FAMU faithful meet him so he can tell us what we need to give him to be successful. Because like I said, everything I've heard about Coach Colzie, that he's a great guy and things like that. And I want to say something about, somebody said we're underestimating losing Willis. No, we know we lost a great coach. What I think we're saying is that Coach Simmons left a great foundation so the house wouldn't just fall down. So you can't replace, I want to be clear, you can't replace a Coach Simmons. But what you can do because of a strong foundation, as Coach Cole talked about, you make sure you got the right coordinators and your right staff and things coming together. But I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that Coach Cole, they put him on a plane and they bring him to Atlanta so he can tell us exactly what he needs and meet all the people. Same thing in Chicago. Chicago is huge, FAMU Rattlers. They're going to take good care of him up there. And I think that's what he really needs to do, because right now we need to make sure our coach, again, has what he needs financially to make sure he can, like I say, somebody just say he's down in Miami recruiting. Well, we want to make sure that coach has everything he needs to be down, right? Financially. Make sure the rental car is paid off, make sure he got in a nice hotel room, make sure whatever the NCAA allows him to do that is at the A level. So that requires funds and money.
And I want to say this, people that say that Coach Colzie, they lost Willie and Willie. I expect a talent like Willie is going to be hard to replace. But I'll say this, ain't no Bill Belichick's in the SWAC. Ain't no D'Amico Ryans in the SWAC. Ain't no Harbaugh's in the SWAC. It ain't a coach in the SWAC that's won a championship. Let me say that again, because y'all didn't hear me. It's not a coach coaching in the SWAC that's won a championship. Whoever wins next year, this is going to be their first championship. So in my opinion,
in the SWAC.
in the SWAC.
Yeah, in the SWAC. Because
Yeah.
Maynard won Division II when he was down.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying, Coach? It ain't like you dealing with a coach who's perennially at the top of the SWAC, who is perennially battling for championships. If I had to say it, if I had to really say who is the most formidable program left based on performance or what happens on the field, you only can name one school, in my opinion, and that's Prairie View, because they've been to the big game with their coach. Ain't nobody else been to the big game with their coach.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's what I'm gonna tell you. But you know what though? That's what's gonna make the SWAC exciting next year, because of the unknown. You don't know what you're gonna get. Now, like I say, you got continuity at Jackson State. I think Jackson State is gonna be a tough team. They brought in, and what I like what Jackson State is doing, they're building the old school style. They're getting high school kids coming in, and they're mixing it up with portal transfers. You got Eddie Robinson is saying, hey, you know what? Let's get all these portal guys. I bring in a quarterback. I'm bringing in a new linebacker. I'm bringing in all these guys. So everybody has a different philosophy. So those teams, Alabama State is going to be a very talented team. Jackson State is going to be a very talented team. Bubba McDowell is going to have a talented team down there at Prairie View. Because you know what he has on those guys? Like I said, they might not have won a championship, but they are winners. They are the winningest team in the West. So that is going to mean a lot when like I said, when they start playing in the season. So I just really want to really be honest about that. So now I don't think anybody from FAMU thinks that it's going to be a cakewalk. Like I said, that game in October 19th, that's going to be a real game, Rocky. That's going to be a real game. It's going to be packed. Jackson State folks are going to be loud. And like I said, they want to win that game. So I'm excited.
Hey, caller, you're going to have to turn your background noise down, bro. You got to turn your background noise down. But caller, 8582, you're live. What's your name and where you calling from?
Bobby Calhoun calling from Tampa, Florida.
Bobby Calhoun from Tampa, Florida. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. I hate the process, the way it went down. But I'm happy we have Coach Colzie. I'm looking forward to see who he hires as a play caller. And if that person comes from the Willie tree, former quarterback, former graduate assistant, I'm curious to see how it unfolds. But I just want to point out to all the naysayers, FAMU did not lose as many players in a transfer portal during all of this chaos as most schools lose on a regular offseason. So the talented team that you saw before will be the talented team you see again. I look forward to the season.
I completely agree with you that the talent they were able to acquire, maintain the talent that they had, and they had great momentum before Willie resigned in acquiring what I would consider an upgrade in an already talented roster. When you talk about the FCS, the FBS players that had committed to FAMU that are not that decommitted and then went on to other Power 5 schools. So, when you look at what happened in those situations, it was an unfortunate situation for FAMU, but the level of talent that they were bringing in was tremendous, and I suspect the coaching staff will still have access to that talent level, considering you have continuity in coaching. Anything else you'd like to say before we let you go?
That's all, man. Hey, all y'all brothers, y'all have a good night. God bless.
Hey, caller, with the last 4, 5240, you're live on HBCU Coach's Corner.
What's going on, Coach? What's going on, coaches? Don't y'all think y'all doing the same head coach, the same thing Jackson State folks did to DC Challenge? We all really don't know how this guy gonna work out and be a head coach. Just because they got talent, prime showed y'all that don't mean you're gonna win. So y'all putting all these expectations on this coach, and we really don't know how he's gonna work out. Right or wrong?
Okay. let me answer this, and then I'm gonna let Mr. Campbell and Coach Cole. Do you think if Jackson State had the 22 players that went to Colorado on the team that TC Taylor coached, do you think they would have still finished where they finished in the SWAC?
You know, listen to what I'm saying.
No. Hold up. My point in telling you is the attrition that TC Taylor had to deal with reflected where he finished in the SWAC. FAMU's not dealing with that attrition. They have the same players.
Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is for Coach Cole. The head coach does means a lot. Yes or no, Coach Cole?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, FAMU has all this talent. Just like Jackson State had all that talent when Dion was at Jackson State. All that talent, and they still got out-coached. Almost half of their games, they got out-coached. Almost half. I'm going to say 75% of their games, they got out-coached. They only won because they made a big play here, a big play there because of talent.
Are you making my case
Now,
for me?
we putting all this. No, I just said. I said we putting all this, saying all this stuff on Coach Colzie, saying, you know what I mean, FAMU is not going to miss a beat. We really don't know. Just because they got talent doesn't mean it's going to be the same team.
Well, let me say, you absolutely right. Let me say this.
Okay.
I think where you're missing that is the situation they were in. If you selling a ship and the captain gets sick, do you want to fly another captain in, or do you want to move next man up to keep the ship going straight? So I said, like I said earlier,
Next man up.
right? And like I said earlier, they got everything moving in the right direction. Now, I understand nothing's guaranteed, especially in college football. Nothing ain't guaranteed. But when you start using analytics and putting the numbers where they are and putting players where they are, FAMU has the most talented football team in the league. You know, and all like I said earlier, all Coach Colzie have to do is squeeze the trigger. They got the staff that was there. You know, and I think they got to go out and get offense coordinator Bishop Campbell.
Yeah. Well, and I want people from FAMU, correct me if I'm wrong. Coach Henry has the title of offensive coordinator. Would he not just step in and start calling plays? And, you know, I'm going to ask my FAMU people that, because I've been thinking about that. We've been saying that we don't have an OC, but Coach Henry does have that title and has been with Willie and knows that offense. So I'm curious, would Coach Henry just step in that role and be the offensive coordinator? I just want to put that out there.
Coach Henry, that's not Colzie.
No. Coach Joseph Henry is our offensive line coach and has a title of offensive coordinator also.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't like them offensive line guys to be coordinators. they know nothing about the passing game. They want to run the ball all the time.
Right.
In trouble running. You know. Hey, look. I've seen that 100 times, man. O-line coaches do not make good coordinators, boy. But I mean, you know, that's up to Coach Colzie.
Well, Rocky, let me say something. First of all, okay, I'm gonna, because like I said, everybody knows Jack State is near dear to my heart. What Coach T.C. Taylor did to lose that many players, first of all, the level of talent that Jack State lost, and to maintain. And you gotta understand. So let's be honest. Jack State they were 2 games away. That the Alabama State game and the Alcorn game, where they were in at the last minute. They could have been 9-2. They could have been 9-2. So we're acting like Jack State was getting ran over. They were not. They were 2 bad plays and a couple of bad ref calls away from being 9-2. So I'm going to give TC Taylor a lot of credit on that. Now let's talk about. Let's talk.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to make the last point, Coach. Coach Colzie, no matter who the coach is going to step into a lot of pressure. That's just a fact. It's a national championship team. So no matter who it was, it could have been Trey Oliver. There was going to be a level of expectation to keep that, like Coach Cole said, to keep that thing at a high level. So that's just part of the game, brothers. That's part of the game. So unfortunately, he wanted to step and handle that challenge, and that's being part of the challenge. So I don't think that's some big deal. Like, oh, Coach Colzie, you guys are expecting. No, any coach that was going to step in there they were going to have a high level of expectation.
Yeah. That's Florida way. Well, let me ask you guys something. Deion Sanders broke 11 NCAA violations at the University of Colorado. How many did you think he broke at Jackson State? I can hear pin drop.
Well, let me say this. Okay, I'm going to defend Deion on this because I've been around it. Man, some of these violations, again, and Coach, you know this. You can be talking to somebody and it's a day early. That's a violation because you supposed to wait until 12 midnight. You know what I mean? So, like I said, let me tell you what the violation was. The violation was Florida State was doing when the coach drove the guy over there and said, "Hey, let me hook you up with some money." That's a violation. Prime taking pictures with people and things like that. I think the people at Jackson State, I think Prime did a lot of stuff, but I'm going to give Jackson State a lot of credit. I think they understood what they were supposed to do. So I guess for me, I understand the high level. Coach, come on, man. We come back from the SAU times when folks was getting Trans Ams and bags of cash. You know what I'm saying? That's violations to me, Coach. LSU had guys doing no-show jobs on a national championship team. You know what I'm saying? That's a violation for me.
It ain't no comparison to what PWIs do on their level than we do at our level.
Well, these violations that Deion Sanders had was related to, let me give you an example of 6 of them. 6 of them was simply him filming himself or someone else posting during a voluntary workout. Like, you're not supposed to film voluntary workouts.
Well, that's my question. My question was, how many do you think he broke at Jackson State? Because they was on damn television and YouTube all goddamn day.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you this. It only counts because you know who tells it? It's the white people that tell it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to stack up on him. If he did, I'm gonna say this as a FAMU person. If Deion is taking a picture with a guy at Jackson State, that ain't going to make or break if he's going to be FAMU or not. I'm just going to be honest with you. So I just think that, again, it's elevated because it's Deion Sanders. Because, again, I'm going to say this again. If it does not give you a competitive advantage, then, I wouldn't have been mad. If they would have said Jackson State did the exact same thing, I would hope FAMU people would not be, suspend Jackson State. They need to lose scholarships. Man, come on, man. Let's play football. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I feel. I just think, that.
Just being a little messy because I remember seeing Travis Hunter on private jets with the Sanders family.
Yeah.
Those are extra benefits. They call extra benefits.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you this too. And see, I guess for me, and Coach, I understand what your point is, and I'm not totally going against what your point is. I guess for me, I knew what it was. When Travis Hunter came down there, he was coming for Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? It was already a setup. It was set up from day one. So I was not going to be shocked that he was jumping on planes and him and Shadul was doing all this stuff. And the guy number 53 wasn't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell you what, if Travis Hunter came to FAMU, Willie, you better put his ass in the truck and ride his ass around too.
Hey, we got us a caller. Caller with the last 4, 2800. You're live. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Jesse Wilcox. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
All right. What you got, Jesse?
Okay. Earlier you all were speaking about the offensive coordinator, and I was looking at a special the other week, and just throwing this out there. Wouldn't it be awesome? I know even if Colzie run back the same offense that Simmons had, but wouldn't it be outstanding to bring in the Brown Bomber again?
The Brown Bomber.
Who is that?
Well, they could bring KJ Black back.
Who is that?
The Mad Bomber. Anybody from FAMU know about the Mad Bomber?
Are you talking about Pat Bonner?
Pat Bonner.
Yeah, okay. Come on, bro. Well, I still got my FAMU card around here. Yeah, okay. Pat Bonner. Yeah, okay. All right, just want to make sure.
I thought that's all I had. I thought that's all I had to say.
Now, listen, bro. Listen, we got a FAMU card around here now. Okay. But no, okay, Rocky, let me answer the question. So, Coach, you remember Pat Bonner. He played for FAMU, you played for Billy Joe. So here's the thing. I think what Coach Colzie should do, and I think Coach Cole has a better answer, I think he needs to get somebody he's most comfortable with and whatever his philosophy is overall. Is he going to be a ground and pound team, or is he going to be a spread and wide team? Get the guy that is his philosophy, because in a way, both the yin and the yang of the team is, you got to look at what you have, the players. And I think, Coach, you talked about this. You coach based off what the players you have on the team, right? So you can't put a round hole in a square peg. Because I think that would be a better answer, maybe for you to answer that. But that's just my personal opinion.
See, here's what I've done. I'm an offensive coordinator. That's kind of my specialty. I turned my team over to my assistant coaches, but then I call the plays on Saturday. So if this Coach Henry guy has been Coach Simmons' right-hand man with the offense, we trust him because Coach Simmons had head coaching duties. He might be in a meeting or whatever, and Coach Henry would take the offense and run the team, or he was coming late to practice. So I think, man, I would hand it over to Coach Henry. If I felt comfortable with Coach Henry. So, and he's been there. He's been around the program. I mean, why not him? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to change the terminology. You don't see, because going out and getting the offensive coordinator, one of the first things he gonna tell Coach Colzie is, I gotta bring one guy with me at least. I gotta either bring the O-line guy with me, or I gotta bring the wide receiver guy with me. And if you don't want to do that, if a guy want to come in, and then the OC, whoever he get, has got to tell me during the interview to say, Coach, look, I don't want to change the whole ship, but this is what I want to do. I'm going to come in and learn y'all terminology for one person so the players won't have to learn a different terminology. But if he comes in and say, man, I got to put my stuff in, shit, Coach, you're gonna have a rough fall. He'll get in there in the spring. He'll go through some of the stuff in the spring. Of course, you can't do a lot in the summer. I wouldn't do a wholesale change on my offense. I think I would keep it just the way it is. And I heard that Coach Henry was with him at PVA&M. So that's the route I would go, Coach. I don't like changes. I don't like wholesale changes, Coach.
Well, it goes back to what you said earlier, Coach, that this was a championship team. And if you can avoid having those wholesale changes, changing offenses, changing defensive philosophy, things of that nature, if you can avoid all of that at any cost, it provides continuity. You can just continue on with the program that you guys had already established. And it was a championship program. It was a championship program. And so that's why, that's why I'm saying, without knowing what kind of Coach Colzie is, FAMU still is the big dog, because they won't be changing much, and they have the coaching, the core coaches still there, OC and DC.
Well, we'll see. Some guys, man, got an ego. This is an egotistical business. He might want to say, look, out with Simmons. Hey, this is my show now. You know what I mean? And hey, he taking a big chance. He's stepping and doing the same thing AD done. Oh, you're going to change everything. It's going to be hell on wheels, because you don't want those kids. You want those kids to play fast. And you don't want them to be doing a lot of thinking on the football field. So if you come in and do a wholesale change and change the philosophy and change the wording on plays and stuff like that, you definitely will have a problem.
Now let me ask you this, Mr. Campbell. Would you be okay bringing Coach KJ Black back to be the OC and play caller?
Well, here's the thing. I think KJ Black is going to have some tremendous opportunities in the NFL. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's a shining and bright star because of just the way that some of the coaches that are moving, you know, maybe Raheem Morris might say, hey, man, come on down here to Atlanta with me. You know what I mean? So that might be an opportunity. So, yeah, would I want KJ Black? Of course, he's a great offensive mind and things like that. But overall, I think that what Coach Cole is going to do is kind of what Coach Cole. I think he's going to look for more continuity on the inside because I think the timeline also works against him, right? The Coach Cole just said it. You just can't bring it off as a guy and say, hey, we just going to throw all this on the board. You know what I mean? So, again, when you don't have the time for coaches being there, so I disagree with that. I want to make one quick point before we get off, though. I want to commend the level of maturity of the football players for the Florida A&M football team. Because what you did not see is a bunch of guys all on social media doing all these crazy videos, making all these outlandish statements. These young men were professional. These young men, when it was time for them to be in front of the board of trustees and the search committee, they spoke very eloquently of what they wanted and what they felt the direction of the football team. So I am very proud of those young men, the level of maturity, because, you know, man, we live in this state where everybody's got a camera, right? And everybody wants to say something. And for these young men to maintain that level of discipline until this situation worked out, I want to just give the FAMU football team a lot of credit. I'm very proud of those young men.
Yeah, I think it's indicative of the level of discipline that those players had and the level of influence the coaches had over those players.
All right, Coach, I got to cut it short.
Yeah. Hey, we about to wrap this up. I was just leaving space for you to have any comments about what was just said, man. This has been a great live, guys, man. I want to thank y'all everyone for tuning in. I definitely want to thank Coach Cole for jumping on, and my man Steve Campbell for representing the FAMU faithful during this situation, man. You've been a great asset to the show, and we got to find a role for you as we continue. So, man, we'll talk to Coach Cole and we'll figure something out, Coach, because you definitely added some depth and knowledge to what we do.
Well, man, I appreciate it, and I'm just going to say that, hey, we let our AD do her job, so now we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? And once again, Coach, I appreciate you being on and explaining to people about this process, because I think a lot of times people see it from the outside like me, right? From the outside, you as a fan, because I'm a fan in the end. I'm a fan. But I appreciate that you were able to show people, hey, this is really what happens when you're in these coaching transitions. So I appreciate you just letting me be on. I really appreciate it.
Well, I think Florida A&M just got better, you know, and I look for them to be right there, and they're gonna strike, and strike again. You didn't think I knew that, did you, Coach?
We appreciate that, Coach. We need some positivity back. It's been a rough 2 weeks for us.
Oh yeah. All right, Coach.
You want to take us out right quick, Coach?
Man, we're gonna let Bishop Campbell take us out.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna say this to the Rattler Nation. I'm proud of my classmates, and I'm proud of the alums, because as the young folks say, you did stand on business, but you did it respectfully. You made it be known, but you also said that we're going to support this football team. So now the Rattlers are ready to go forward to defend our HBCU National Championship. And Coach Colzie, we ready to rock with you, baby. Let's go.
Hey, man, life is tough. As always, man, if you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot, hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you.